Namaste and very hearty welcome to all of you to this Thursday satsang. We are continuing with the series, The Life Lessons You Cannot Ignore. And today is the seventh life lesson that we are going to discuss, seventh and the last one in this series. And the lesson that we are having today is very, very important. It has come from my Master Sri Dadagavan. And this message also had been responsible for a huge transformation in my own life. Something that I had been missing, I had not been understanding, facing lots of ups and downs, and something that really settled me from within. And that was the Maha Mantra. That's what we are going to discuss today. How to settle oneself from within permanently. See, even after self-realization, the hide and seek game goes on, and because of that, the ups and downs are there. Physical ups and downs is the property of the body. Okay. So for example, I made some mistakes unknowingly in eating, so my body suffered. That's okay. Body will react that way. I'm not talking about that. We are talking about how to settle the soul. Body will have its own properties, and that's okay. That up and down is taken care with lifestyle, with medicine, with exercises, with yoga. All that is there. We are not going to discuss about that. That's bodily affair. The lesson that we are having is for the life, is for the Atman, for the soul. How to settle it once and for all. And stay rooted on the path so that you don't deviate and ultimately you make this lifetime the last lifetime. And that's the big thing. Okay. So let me share and review the last 6 lessons because it is in continuity with the 6 lessons. Okay. So we are going to see from the first lesson. Okay. 7 lessons of life you cannot ignore. So the first lesson we discussed was personal energy management. Okay, those who want the details, you can see the videos. The videos are already available free on YouTube. Lesson number 2 is attitudinal correction that we need for being a spiritual seeker. Very specific attitudinal corrections are required. Even for normal life to improve, lots of attitudinal corrections are required. And there is a third chapter which we'll be discussing mostly in the Diwali camp at Palampur for those who will be certified Kriya Yoga teachers in the presence of Gurudev Yogiraj Amar Jyoti ji. I'm yet to talk to him, but in my mind it is final. I'll talk to him and finalize, or maybe little before Diwali if suits him. So there is a third chapter in this attitudinal correction, which is called the Attitudes of the Master. The new presentation, I'll be doing it for all the would-be Kriya Yoga certified teachers at Palampur, whenever possible. So attitudinal correction is something very, very important. Okay, the third lesson that we learned was holistic approach to life. Normally, people focus on 1 or 2 aspects and they forget about the others, and that's what troubles the life. So when the basic 7 aspects are taken care, life is much better. You're not missing on to any particular thing. And that's why a holistic approach to life is a very important aspect right from the beginning. If people take care, you will not miss out onto any particular aspect. So for example, most of the people are like too busy with the financial aspect of life, youngsters, too much of focus onto the career building, job, business and all, which is good. It is required. But then they may miss out onto the spiritual aspect of life. Sannyasis who focus too much onto spiritual aspect of life may miss out onto the social aspect and the financial aspect. So that mistake often happens by many people right from the beginning. If we take care of all the 7 dimensions, life will be much better. Simple lesson, but very, very important. And the lesson of Prem Mark, the lesson of love, I learned from Babaji from in December 2016. This is the model we created to understand love at different levels, 7 layers of love. Very dear to my heart, this model. Okay, after that, I created 7 layers of intimacy model, and it's really life transforming. This is something which people are not talking, but in the modern world, when so many youngsters are watching pornography on the internet, why not we discuss the very fundamental aspects of life which are very important for our students, for our children? And I think the time has come where a right kind of education should be given about love and intimacy. Otherwise, our children, our students are going into the wrong path. So lesson number 5, I think this is one of the most important lessons that I learned from my master, Sri Dada Gavan. Lesson of detached involvement. Involving with the world, but remaining detached from inside is one of the very good way to manage the life in a better manner. And the last time that we discussed was keep your pointer towards the north. No matter what, keep walking the path. And today's lesson is eternal vigilance is the price of freedom. Okay. So last 3 lessons have come from my master Sri Dada Gavan. All right. So we will stop this thing. Eternal vigilance is the price of freedom. Because last 3 lessons are connected, interconnected. That's why we wanted to discuss things. Without learning the lesson of detached involvement, this last lesson is difficult for you to learn, understand. So basically, if you go on practicing few basic things, the life transformation starts. See, many youngsters, very intelligent, educated youngsters are asking, why am I facing so many problems? Why do I feel depressed? Why my relationships are not working? And they are very honest, very genuine about these queries. Now, the thing is, our school and college education does not really prepare us to face the life. There are lots of things. I don't think any institute or any university or school or college gives you the education about love, about relationships, about intimacy. And that's why those areas are unexplored and unknown to most of the people. And these are the areas where these days youngsters are messing up their life, typically in the relationships. Okay. So you may be a MBA finance, you may be expert in financial management, and still you can easily mess up your personal life as far as the relationships are concerned. Why? Because you have no expertise there. You don't know. You have not studied the subject. Nobody taught you. It's not there as a part of the curriculum, as a part of the syllabus in your schools and colleges. And those are the most important dimensions of life. And somehow nobody is talking about. So somewhere that holistic aspect, that learning has to be there. Now I'm going to tell you today very systematically how does the transformation happen. We are not talking about the mental transformation or mindset transformation. That's all management stuff. No, we are talking about total transformation of being at a spiritual level. And that is the most important aspect of life that somehow I was lucky enough to learn from my master Sri Dada Gavan. Otherwise, the mental transformation that we are talking about is a little bit of amendment here, little bit of amendment there, and that does not result into the total life transformation. So once the total life transformation happens, it's one-way thing. You can't come back to the normal, so-called normal. And that's like a one-way thing, okay? You are born out of the Maya. See, when you are born out of mother's womb, that's the first birth. When you are born out of Maya, beyond Maya, you go, that is the second birth. That's called Dviz, the born again. So today's lesson is, even after you are born again, the hide and seek is game is there, the ups and downs are there. How to settle those things? That is the lesson that we are going to talk about. So how and where does the journey start? If you are intelligent, if you are honest, if you look within, you see your mind has no congruency whatsoever. Mental makeup keeps on changing. Sometimes you want this, sometimes you want that, and there is no harmony, there is no congruency in your thoughts. Thoughts are haphazard. So the first thing that you need to look into is what is this thought mind? And the first inner skill that is important for us to practice is witnessing. Learn to separate yourself from your thought mind, create the distance, and come to the position where you can witness your thoughts. विचारों को अलिप्त भाव से देखना, विचारों को साक्षी बनकर देखना. This is the most important skill for a seeker. Okay. The spiritual seeker must develop this inner skill of how to detach yourself from the thought mind and witness the thoughts. This much minimum is required. If you can do that, okay, you can watch the things, you can watch your body, you can watch your breath, you can watch your thought mind, you can watch your emotions, and the best advantage that you get by practicing this skill is you don't get carried away by any of these things. See, last previous Sunday, previous to that, I was not feeling well. The food poisoning has affected my body. My brain had slowed down, but my awareness was intact. And I took up a challenge that I must continue with the esoteric club talk. And I did that. I knew that my mind is in my control. My brain was affected by the food poison. So my speech was slow. The control was less, a little blurred sometimes. But as I continued, over a period of time, the things improved. What does it mean? My witness was intact. And that correction was going on online. Very big challenging task in that moment, you see. When your brain is not functioning. And what was the topic? Topic we're discussing is science of immortality, secrets of immortality. Difficult topic. You see, and I decided to go ahead. You know why? Those are the rare moments where you take up the challenge against your own well-being. Okay, there's an effect on the body, but I'm not the body. How am I? How do I become sure about it? I keep witnessing that body is behaving in a certain manner, the mind is behaving in a certain manner, the speech is getting blurred, words are not coming out that fast, but that witness is intact, which is watching all the things. And that has the tremendous healing effect. That is the first advantage of that. So actually speaking, I completed all my speaking assignments, irrespective of my health. We completed Khajuraho camp. Last 2 days were difficult, but I completed the whole thing, syllabus, and even esoteric club was done well. I saw the video. It's pretty good. We'll continue with that. It will go on to the LMS. So witnessing, my dear friends, witnessing your body, witnessing your mind, witnessing your emotions, and not getting carried away by those things, not falling prey, not succumbing to the pressure of this body, mind, emotions. If you can have that strong witnessing capacity within you, okay, you can take up such challenges. See, talking is one thing and doing is totally different thing. The real challenge, if you can take up while doing it, okay, then you will build the muscle of witnessing. That no matter what, whatever may be happening, your awareness is so very powerful, it overcomes the restrictions from the body, minds, and emotions. Okay. Which means what? If you continue to witness for a longer duration means 24/7 for years together. That is what I mean by longer duration. 24/7, not missing. Not a single thought should leave your mind without being witnessed. That kind of strong witnessing is what you need to practice. Okay. See, one thing is called philosophy. You discuss. No, this is not a philosophy. This is something to be practiced on a daily basis. That's what creates that settledness in you. Your being is settled. Your body may have ups and downs health-wise. Okay. Mind can become hazy, fuzzy. Yes, because it depends on the brain. If the brain is affected, the mind gets affected, your emotions get affected. But that's not me. I am that pure Atman. Satchidananda Swarup Atman. Body, mind, emotion, these are my vehicles. I'm not my car. Same way, I'm not my vehicles, right? I'm different than this. That sense has to be intact all the time. 24/7 for years together. That is witnessing capacity. Witnessing is a skill. When you continue to witness slowly as an undercurrent, your awareness develops. First of all, let's be very clear, witnessing is different, awareness is different. Most of the people take it as a synonym, which is not the true thing. Witnessing is a skill that you develop within you. Awareness is a much bigger thing. It's very you. See, who is witnessing you? Who is awareness? That's you. So awareness is witnessing. Otherwise, people stop their sadhana at the level of witnessing and they never reach. Okay. Listen very carefully. I'm telling you something very extraordinary. Most of the spiritual seekers don't understand this thing because it's not clarified. And that's why their sadhana stops there. Their spiritual practices stop, and the total transformation, which you are very close to, you don't get it. That's the reason. So let's very be clear, listen very carefully. What is it that brings about the transformation? First of all, yes, witnessing has to be strengthened. But let's understand, witnessing is a limbo state. हिंदी में इसको त्रिशंकु अवस्था कहते हैं. न ऊपर जा सकता है न नीचे आ सकता है, लटक गया बीच में विटनेसिंग में. It's very dangerous to tell you this thing, but it's the truth. I must tell you the truth. Not many people are talking about it, and that's why the spiritual seekers get stuck at the level of witnessing. Why this is so? Let's understand the trio. When you are witnessing, somebody is witnessing, something is witnessed, and there is a process of witnessing. That's called trio. 3 legs of the teapot. As long as the trio is there, the enlightenment does not happen. And this is the most fundamental blockage that most of the seekers face. So what needs to be done, my dear friends? Very fundamental, which nobody is talking about. I had met many masters prior to meeting Sri Dada Gavan. But Dada Gavan was sitting all alone in his cottage. There were not many groups, not many people visiting him, and I got a lot of time, personal time, to clarify my questions. And that was the most beautiful thing. Today also lots of masters are there, But you see, masters have huge organizations and they are not available for one-on-one talk with the seekers, which is the real job of the master. It's okay. Everybody has one's own ways of dealing. All are required. Everything under the sun is useful. No criticism of anybody. Everybody doing a good job in one's own way. But the most beautiful thing that happened between me and my master is I got a very good personal time, and that's why all these things become so clear. Otherwise, it's a very impossible. So when you are witnessing, the trio is there. Somebody is witnessing, something is being witnessed, and there's a process of witnessing. So the witness is there. साक्षी जो है वो विचारों को देखता है. The साक्षी is the witness. The thoughts are something which is being witnessed. That is the subject of witnessing. And there is a process of witnessing. So these three things are there. As you keep on witnessing, as an undercurrent, the awareness develops. That awareness is aware of the trio. That is something to be understood. And if that awareness develops, and that is associated with your witnessing, then the thoughts disappear. Getting into the no thought becomes easier if your awareness develops. That's the first step. If there is nothing to witness, if the thoughts are not there, then the process of witnessing will stop. Process of witnessing will stop because there is nothing to witness. So the second leg of the tipa is also gone. First, the subject of witnessing, which is the thought, is gone. Second, the process is gone. Still what remains? The witness remains. And the awareness is aware of witness. When the witness disappears, then only awareness becomes aware of itself, and that process is called as self-realization, enlightenment, Atma Vyapti. That is the total transformation that we are talking about. So this has to be clarified for all the spiritual seekers, because otherwise seekers world over are getting stuck with witnessing only. And witnessing only is not going to give you the ultimate breakthrough. So the trio has to dissolve, the awareness has to become aware of itself, and that is where the total transformation happens. So if it happens, that's great. If you maintain your high PVF, you continue with that. PVF is important to manage that state. But you see, the food habits, your sleep, traveling, all that disturbs body. So suddenly if something goes wrong and if your PVFs come down, then your awareness is also gone. And then you are back to the square one. And you wonder what happened, that wonderful state gone. That's called hide and seek game with the divine. The divine is there, and the next moment the divine is not there. Something went wrong with the body, and your body is not able to sustain that high vibration, the high PVF, and that is where the hide and seek game happens. भक्ति मार्ग में इसको मिलन और विरह की बात कहते हैं. कृष्ण से मिलना हुआ, बहुत मजा आया, कृष्ण से विरह हो गया, रोना आ रहा है, ये सब भक्ति मार्ग की बातें हैं, which is the same thing. Hide and seek game with the divine. Now this is where the today's lesson comes into picture. The master says, eternal vigilance is the price of freedom. If you want to be free from karma, if you want to be free from mind and emotions and ego, then eternally vigilance. Be vigilant all the time. Remain aware all the time, 24/7, until you leave the body. That is the price one needs to pay to remain in that freedom. Otherwise, let me tell you, the mind can come back. Mind has the capacity. If your PVF reduces, okay, and the mind gains the momentum, and you can easily get trapped into that mind. And you may forget about that state. And let me tell you, There are thousands of people world over whom I have personally counseled, talked to them. Thousands of people, the seekers have talked to me. They had the glimpse of divine, for sure. Because once in a while you go high on your own also. Environment is good, your mood is good, your health is good, your vibrations are high, and sometimes you get the glimpse of the divine. And you don't know how you got it. So you can't go there on you can't go there again on your own because you don't know the process. And you come down and you wonder, oh my God, what was such a beautiful thing which I missed? This is happening with thousands of seekers world over. That's why the presence of the master is so very important. If you know how to shake hands with the God, or how to say hello to God, or how to get into that state of godliness on your own, then you can repeatedly go there. And as you go there more and more, you will settle there easily. So the hide and seek game will be lesser in that case. So let me clarify once again. Get rooted into the witnessing. As the undercurrent, let the awareness develop. Focus on the trio. Let the trio dissolve. Awareness becomes aware of itself. Eternal vigilance is the price of freedom. So if you remain vigilant throughout, that is the way you can stay there. And that is the way you will remain aware irrespective of your body, mind, and emotions. Body, mind, emotions level, ups and downs can come. But if you are aware, you will not get carried away by those things. So that eternal awareness has to be there, continuous vigilance has to be there, and that is the way we can sustain that divine state. Okay. See, saying hello to God, chit chat with God, these are the words I had been using recently, but actually, there's a better way to express it, and that's called the godliness is a quality. You touch upon that quality. It's not God, it's godliness, it's a quality. When do you do that? When awareness becomes aware of itself, that is where you experience the quality called godliness. That is exactly what is the self-realization or enlightenment. And that is what every human being is hungry and thirsty for. See, I have seen some of the richest people in the world. Everything is there. But if you talk to them personally, they say something is not okay, I'm not very happy with my life, and everything is there, whatever they can think of, everything is there. Why they are not happy with their life? If you ask me, well, I may not have many things. That's okay, but I'm quite happy with myself. So what is it? What is it that gives the happiness? That touch of godliness. That is what is give the happiness. Okay. The touch of godliness. And we all have the capacity. Only thing is that we are not practicing the things in a right manner. That's all that is there. I think there's no dearth of knowledge now. You clarified beyond doubt how the thing happens. Whosoever practices will get the touch of that godliness. And that's the price that you need to pay. It's not cheap. It's not easy. You have to work for it. Okay. And what is the work? Eternal vigilance is the price of freedom. Initially, you may get glimpses. It's called satori. It's not called samadhi. In samadhi, you get the touch of godliness, not in satori. But satoris are very common. Let me tell you, there are many ways you can get it. If you see the very innocent, beautiful child, look into the eyes of the child, and suddenly, for a second, you may have the touch of godliness. Why? That innocent child carries that vibration. but it will be like a fleeting moment. It doesn't stay there. Or you are say hiking, you are going up the mountain, and 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, you are perspiring, and suddenly you reach to the top of the mountain and you see the panoramic view, and there is that aha moment. In that aha moment, there's a touch of godliness. How far it remains? 2, 3, 4 seconds maximum. How much effort did you put? 5 hours. But let me tell you that aha moment is there. And in that aha moment, you are getting that touch of godliness that is called satori. You see a very beautiful person, you get carried away, you lost yourself. Even there is a satori. The mind is lost for a while because of the beauty. Or you see a beautiful flower, see the blessings of the nature, and suddenly you are lost in the nature. But let me tell you, there you are lost. The ego is gone for a while. So the touch of godliness is there. Now, how do you sustain? How do you go there consciously? Do the same thing consciously, full of awareness, and you can be there. That's another way to look at it. But that is directly not possible unless you practice the witnessing for a long time and the triode dissolution happens and your awareness has developed to a sufficient level. Otherwise, it's difficult to practice this thing. So, does it mean that you have to leave the home and get into the mountaintop somewhere in secluded or a Himalayan cave and practice witnessing? No, that's not the right thing. Keep on practicing witnessing wherever you are. In fact, the more active you are in the life, the more the chances you get, because more the challenges will be there, and every challenge will strengthen your witnessing. See, I had this thought in my mind, and I also understood that's part of my life mission, and I must complete. So, being a spiritual person, giving intimacy education to the large group of people is quite a challenging thing. But you see, I was continuously working on this challenge because it's part of my life mission I had to complete. And so prepared the large manual for this and all the aspects of intimacy that I thought the world needs are written properly. And in a 4-day camp in Khajuraho, it was delivered. First time I personally took that challenge to talk on the subject so much of detail and complete my life mission once and for all. With all the health issues, it was still completed. So that is what we get with the power of eternal vigilance. When the awareness develops, all that thing become possible. Otherwise, at the end moment, there's some distance between the cup and the lip, and you miss the opportunity. That's where exactly your power comes into picture. Don't let go. Complete the job. That attitude is required to make this lifetime the last lifetime. Otherwise, we had been missing many, many lifetimes. That killer instinct. Make it happen. Make this lifetime the last lifetime. That killer instinct has to be there. Only then the journey gets completed. Otherwise, we let go. Okay, next time. Next time is one more birth. You have to go to school, A, B, C, D, all that trouble. Okay. See, you are PhD this time. And then you are born as a child, and again you go to learn A, B, C, D, and all that troublesome. So if you want to avoid that thing, then have the killer instinct. Complete the journey. This lifetime, the last lifetime. Okay? No more coming, no more going. Whatever can be experienced by the human being in the human body. If you can experience that, then the whole purpose of coming into the human body is over. And that completes the journey. See, we are all in the human body. There's a purpose for that because human brain is evolved by nature over years together. And we need that evolved brain for that awareness to develop in the body. Can it develop in a dog? Certain aspect dogs are much better than us. For example, the sense of smell, maybe 1,000 times, 10,000 times more than what we have. Okay. Unconditional love, much better than human beings. So animals are good in certain sense. But in animal brain, that is dog's brain, awareness cannot become aware of itself. Can dog be aware? Oh, for sure. Dog be aware. Dog has better awareness actually. But can awareness become aware of itself in the dog's body? No. That is the main point. Why? Because dog has the spine which is horizontal. All the animals have spine which is horizontal. In the horizontal spine, the consciousness cannot take a jump. Only human being has vertical spine. And you see all the yoga teachers, they tell you, keep your spine vertical. Why? Only when the spine is vertical that the quantum jump in consciousness can happen, Kundalini awakening can happen. And that is the biggest thing. See, I have lots of friends who are also great meditators. Okay. So one very smart boy had asked me, Guruji, witnessing is the essence of meditation. So if I keep on witnessing, does it depend on my body? I said, no. You are not the body. It doesn't depend on your body. If your witness is intact. So if I witnessing sitting straight, or if I bend little, or if I fall down, I still keep witnessing. Is that okay? I said, it's okay. As long as you are witnessing, it's okay. So can I do meditation while sleeping? Yes, you can do meditation while sleeping. See, these are the ways the intelligent people find out their ways. But the moment you are sleeping, your spine is horizontal, you will fall asleep. Easy to fall asleep. Your awareness will be lost. If you can keep it, well, that's great. There's nothing wrong. Okay. So, in the dog's body, awareness cannot become aware of itself. You need vertical spine for that to happen. So, human body is the only body where you have a vertical spine. That's the beauty of human body. That's why we can complete the journey of evolution of consciousness. What is ultimate possible? What happened to Buddha? What happened to Krishna? What happened to Jesus? That can happen to all of us, everybody. We are all eligible for it. Why? We have a vertical spine. And if you can practice that eternal vigilance and remain into that awareness, then this lifetime, the last lifetime. All right. So eternal vigilance is the price of freedom. Otherwise, you may keep on getting the glimpses, the satoris, but that full-fledged. See, what is satori? For example, there are lots of clouds, white cloud, gray cloud, black cloud. And suddenly there is a small patch which is a crystal blue sky. So you see that blue sky suddenly. Okay. And then again the clouds come and it's lost. That phenomenon is called satori. You are getting the touch of godliness. You are experiencing it for a few moments and then it is lost. Now this creates a great urge in you, in your being. For sure, you know there is something very beautiful. Okay. And you want to know that, but you can't. Your mind will try. That mind will struggle, but mind cannot know that. Because when you are hiking for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours going up the mountain and you are putting so much of efforts, in that effort, your mind is lost. And suddenly you saw the panoramic view and you got the glimpse of godliness. So all those who want to experience godliness have to lose their mind. Which means what? You have to be into the no thought zone, but fully vigilant, fully aware. Only then that touch of the godliness is possible. Otherwise, all right. I hope I have made myself clear. I'll answer your questions. Anybody has questions, please put it in chat box. So Ramdas ji asked, so we know we have evolved from witnessing to awareness when we are in no thought zone. No thought zone can come with the witnessing also. So no thought zone does not mean that you have evolved from witnessing to awareness. If you witness strongly, intensely, you get into the no thought zone. But even in that no thought zone, as a witness, you are witnessing, the process of witnessing is there. Thoughts are there sometimes they are not there. Which means the trio is there. And that's not it. It's good to witness and witness intensely. What happens if you continue for a longer duration as the undercurrent awareness develops, which is different than witnessing? That is something to be understood. It is the awareness that is aware of witnessing. Otherwise, who is witnessing? Who knows? The awareness knows you are witnessing. That awareness is you. That's your Atman. That's the quality of the Atman. Witnessing is a skill. That is the right way to understand. That skill is something to be practiced. Like you are practicing mudra, you are watching your breath like that. The witness is there, which is an inner skill, which is important in the beginning. But that has to go. The awareness has to take over. As long as the witnessing is there, that touch of godliness will be missing. See, thousands of people world over are meditating. They're getting glimpses, but they're not getting enlightened. Why? Something is wrong, something is missing. So we are not talking about little amendment here and there, little glimpse here and there. No, we are talking about the full-fledged enlightenment experience. And that is possible only when the trio dissolves, not otherwise. Okay, Pratyush is asking, in waking state, it is relatively easy to be aware of awareness. But what happened in the deep sleep state? They say awareness is aware of deep sleep or of not knowing anything, but how do we know it? You know it only when you wake. There is no need to know. Only when you are aware that you know, if your deep sleep is there, your awareness is still aware. And that is why in the morning you tell, oh, I slept well or I didn't sleep well, which means you are aware throughout. That awareness is intact. Okay. But normal person, when he is sleeping, that awareness is not there. In a yogi, that awareness is there. And this is something to be developed. See, I developed using a very specific method given by my master. Listen carefully. It's a very important process. Most of the people don't look into it because they are too mystical things. But if you look into it, it's a very rewarding journey. See, I practiced for months together. I wanted to take my awareness to the deep sleep state, which these days is easy for me to be aware all the time. Even in the deep sleep, awareness is there. If the body is snoring, the awareness of the snoring is there. It's the easiest step. Why? When you're snoring, it's easier to have the awareness of the body. But if you are not snoring, and if you are in a deep sleep, does the awareness remain? Yes, awareness remains there. See, if you are into the Turya Avastha, the fourth one is aware of all the three: wakefulness, dream, and deep sleep. The only four possibilities are there. So the fourth one is aware of all the three. Which means what? Developing the fourth one. What is the fourth one? Turya. Turya Avastha means what? The fourth Avastha. Turya means fourth. There is all nothing. There is no mystical thing. Turya means the fourth. Now, if the awareness is aware, okay, if that enlightenment has happened, then deep sleep is as good as the samadhi. What is the difference between the sleep and the samadhi? Sleep, you are unaware. Body is resting, mind is resting. In the dream state, mind is active. But in the deep sleep state, mind is not active because even the dreaming is not there. So body is resting, mind is resting, but you are unaware. This is sleep. If your body is resting, mind is resting, and you are aware, then this is samadhi. So sleep and samadhi are similar, but in sleep you are unaware, in samadhi you are aware. So if you can be aware during the sleeping state, your sleep is samadhi. Okay, so that is Pratyush Tomar's question. Over. Krishna is asking, Dear Guruji, I am glad you are feeling better. I am grateful for satsang. When maintaining awareness 24 by 7, is it possible to use mind as a tool to do work and planning? 100%. See, I'm aware and I'm talking. I'm answering your question, which means mind is my slave. I'm using the mind as my slave and doing my job. That's it. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, mind works better as a slave. The trouble is when mind becomes your master, you are taken for the ride and you lose yourself. If the awareness is intact, mind is a good tool, can be used. There is no problem at all. And that is the way it should be used. Devasis Ganguly, welcome. After a long time, Devasis. Muscle memory aids witnessing or inhibit the process. Muscle memory is a subject in itself. We have talked quite a lot about it. See, we have a Chitta Shuddhi Kriya. For last 3-4 years, we had been practicing Chitta Shuddhi Kriya at our ashram in various camps very intensely. The whole idea was to clean up the muscle memory. Muscle memory at times can create disturbances in your spiritual journey. So, if you can clean up the muscle memory, which is possible through Chitta Shuddhi Kriya, it's a very special, high power, high intensity Kriya. And if you can do that, then your automatic responses will also come in control. Okay. Body has its own automatic responses. Muscle memory adds to that. So, see, for many people, exploring the gap between the stimulus and response is not possible. They become too reactive. Why? The body is not ready, the mind is not ready. So that too much snappy action or reactive action is there. So muscle memory can create troubles in your spiritual progress. Let me explain you further because I do counseling with lots of young people, and these days youngsters are very adventurous. So they have multiple sex partners. So now you see, when a person has a sex with multiple partners, you are sharing your energy. So energy fragmentation happens. And one of the fragment of energy is stuck onto your body. Okay. And that creates the disturbance. And when the multiple fragments are stuck to your body, that creates multiple disturbance. All this is part of the muscle memory. So it can create a hell lot of trouble for a spiritual seeker. That's why character building is required. That's why the yam niyam, asana pranayam, all that is required. So that you avoid this energy fragmentation that happens. एनर्जी फ्रेगमेंटेशन से मति भ्रम होता है, ऐसा शास्त्र कहते हैं. If your energy fragmentation happens, then your mind will not function properly, and then you get into that brain fog state. So people who have multiple sex partners, they will not have the clarity of the mind because those multiple partners' energy fragments are stuck onto their subtle bodies. That creates the foggy brain. This is also part of the muscle memory. Okay, Devasis, it's a problem and that needs to be sorted out. Answer to that is Chitta Shuddhi Kriya. Okay, Ratna V is asking, when you are aware, a lot of things look magnified, both positive and non-positive. It is so tempting to get involved, judge the thought, judge people involved because you understand the intention of others. It's like you see too much and you can't handle so much. How to stay in awareness only, or how to increase the capacity to handle the truth? Very good. See, the second lesson that we learned was the attitudinal correction. Even in a normal practice of counseling, this is highly stressed. You judge you not. Okay. So, non-judgmental attitude, even generally, it is good. As a spiritual seeker, you have to be master of it. So, when you are witnessing the thoughts, you don't have to judge the thoughts. Okay. Just witness and let it go. You don't have to analyze the thoughts. You don't have to label the thought. Okay. See, with more and more practicing spirituality, you will become sensitive. So you know people's intention. You can at times read people's mind. All that is there. But with all that, remaining into the non-judgmental attitude is a very important aspect. Otherwise, whatever you say is true, you get carried away by all those things, which you should not. So non-judgmental attitude you must be rooted into. And that is the practice. That is the spiritual practice. That is the attitudinal correction that we need. See, when a new person comes into the spiritual circle, and he is new, he has not practiced anything. So other people also, the advanced seekers are also able to see, oh my God, this behavior is wrong. Yes, but master doesn't judge. Many times the student judge the other student, but master doesn't judge. Master remains into that non-judgmental awareness, and that is the state of master that makes the person aware of the patterns, and suddenly the pattern disappears. Okay. With the love field of the master, the pattern disappears instantly. Instant corrections happen in the life of the seeker, and that is possible only if you are non-judgmental. So non-judgmental attitude is the answer, Ratna. Pratyush is
Thank you.
asking, this energy fragmentation only happens in physical relationship, romantic partner, or it can also happen in emotional, deep, close friendship or other family relationship. Every relationship it happens. I give you the extreme example of multiple sex partner because that's quite a common thing among the youngsters these days all over the world. But if you are emotionally involved, same thing happens at an emotional level. You are mentally involved, intellectually involved, same thing happens, but less damaging. Physical thing is more damaging because the energy fragments are actually there, and that creates the foggy brain. Okay. So any involvement can create the trouble. That's why the lesson of detached involvement. I'm sure now all these your questions you can go back and see. There's a sequence of 7 lessons. Those lessons you have to learn properly, then you can come to the last one. The eternal vigilance is the price of freedom. See, like if you practice detached involvement, okay, the judgmental attitude will not be there. Non-judgmental attitude will be strengthened just by detached involvement. They are all connected internally. So, my dear friends, spirituality is not about philosophy. It's not about talking. It's not about projecting. It's not about advising. It's about practicing. Okay? So, as you practice more and more and you strengthen your awareness, you will feel the vibrations of godliness. And then you are one with the God, or you are one with godliness, whatever sentence you say. That oneness is the beauty of life. That oneness gives you lots of love in your heart, lots of joy of your being, the ecstasy of the being. That's awaiting. See why people are hungry and thirsty in the midst of plenty. This is a sentence of my master, Sri Dada Kavat. In 1975, after his enlightenment and after almost 14, 15 years of meditating after enlightenment, first time he visited USA in 1975. And he saw the kind of affluence which he has never seen before in India. And after about a month or so, he made a statement that I saw people very hungry and thirsty in the midst of plenty. Yes, there is the culture of plenty in USA. Even if you see the coffee, the portion size here in India, will at least four of us we will drink that much coffee. Yeah, that's the culture of plenty, and there's so much of wastage. But you see, people are hungry and thirsty. Why? Because no spiritual experience, no touch of godliness. One can easily get lost into the material world of plenty, and one will remain hungry and thirsty from at the soul level. This is a fact of life. See what my master saw in 1975 and what I saw last year in 2025, there's not much difference. The 50 years have gone, the culture of plenty is there, and people are still hungry and thirsty. So, what is it that will quench our thirst, quench our hunger? The touch of godliness. And for that, strengthen your witnessing, let go of the trio, let the awareness develop, let awareness become aware of itself. That is the total transformation. Then eternal vigilance is the price of freedom. Stay there. And then you are rooted in godliness. That quenches your thirst and hunger. And that bliss and the ecstasy is experienced in your heart, in your being. And that's the extraordinary state that completes the journey of being human. All right. Thank you very much. God bless you. I don't see any further questions. So I hope you enjoyed this session. God bless you.